I'm glad you could make it today to Barre. Our theme today is inner strength. We're going to be working these inner thighs a lot today. So if you have a rolled up towel or a small throw pillow or a squishy ball that you can use, that would be good because we're going to be using that a lot. Also, optional equipment is a resistance band or tube or even a long towel that you could use to hold onto your leg. So if you have access to that equipment, that would be awesome. Not necessary, but definitely helpful. All right, let's start our warm up. We're going to start with some quick tendus. So standing in first position, heels together, zip up through those inner thighs, lift up that spine, make a lot of room to engage the core here, lifting that rib cage up, rolling the shoulder blades back, lift the chin to level the head, feeling nice, strong, tall, aligned. Inhale those arms out. We're going to bring our toes out. So what we're working on here is minimal movement above the hips. There's naturally going to be some. Yes, really good. So that takes a lot of core strength, good core control. Side to side, side to side. You can make your balance a little bit more challenging by turning this into a dégagé. So just brushing that foot off the floor, holding onto that core, trying to minimize that upper body movement. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Coming into our second position, feet wide. Again, arms out, nice and aligned through that spine, coming straight down into our plie. Plie. Knees are going over those toes. Head and shoulders stay straight up to the sky. We're not actively tucking that booty, but we're just trying to move the hips up and down in space instead of back into space. 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay down here. Lift, right, left, right, left. So just a little heel lift march. Lift, 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 lift. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you can, lift both heels up. Hold here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back to center. If you have that ball or rolled up towel or small throw pillow, grab that now. We're going to put that between our thighs. Squeeze it there. Feet are parallel. Squeezing, squeezing with our squishy object. We're going to walk side to side, tiny walks. Other side, walk. So you should be feeling all this work happening in your inner thighs. Your inner thighs have to work to keep that ball squeezed as your feet slightly separate. It's really good engagement. It looks so silly. It's like a little insect skitter, but it's a great way to warm up those inner thighs. 4, 3, 2, last one, and done. Awesome. Hopefully you are nice and warm. Let's come to our upper body work, to our arm series. Let's grab those little weights or small water bottles, whatever you're using here. Starting with feet in parallel, lifting up, up, up. Nice alignment, rolling the shoulders back, holding onto that core. We're going to start with side raise. So making sure those shoulder blades are down the back. We don't want the shoulders to hunch up with our raise. Lift and down, lift and down. So just coming up to shoulder height. Lift and down. Nice and slow. We've got our little weights here. So we need to make them all muscle, no momentum. Lift and down, lift and down. 4, we're not going to be done. 3, 2, 1. We're going to do half range, half and up, half and up. Hey, Terry, half and up, half and up. So this is tough. And up, half and up. 4, 3, and we're still not going to be done. We're going to be going into our pulses. 1, and pulse, 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 pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring them down. Coming into the same thing with the front raise. So reset your body, reposition those feet parallel, lift up tall, engage the core, lock those shoulder blades down, shoulders away from the ears, up and down, up and down. Nice. Getting a little bit of a warm up here to start. Up and down. 4, 3, 2, coming into those halfways, halfway and up, halfway and up. Really check out those shoulder blades, check in with your body. Make sure they're still down and aligned, not winging out to the side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready for that pulse, 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 pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming down. Nice job. Coming into our triceps, we're going to start with a rotating tricep. Push back into our lifts. Feet parallel, hip distance apart, skier position, soft knee, hinging from the hip. No booty out, no booty in, just a nice straight aligned spine. Roll those shoulders back to lift the elbows up, trying to get those elbows up above the back. Rotate and lift. Rotate and lift. Coming to that big squeeze at the top. Lifting into that nice tall tricep lift. Lift and down. Lift. Lift. 8, 7. Head aligned. Try not to drop that head down to your chin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lift, 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 lift. Keep those arms up above that booty if you can. Lift, lift, lift. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back to standing. Let's do some standing chest flies. Again, shoulder blades down, arms open, palms face to the center, open, and come back to center. Open to center. Now you're holding onto that core. If you don't hold on to the core, your body will kind of sway back and forth. Hold on to the core. Keep this work in the chest and shoulders. Open, center, nice. Really good, good open extension. To center, open, to center. 4, 3, 2, 1, and pulse, open, open, open. Again, hold on to that core. All this movement is happening in the chest and the shoulders. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Biceps, starting with that hammer curl. Hammer in. Nice. Hands facing in. Bringing those weights up. Elbows glued to the side. 4 more like this. 3, 2, 1. Hands down, up, down, up, down. So we're going to be changing our hand position through this. See how that gets the muscles a little bit differently. This one is good for these small weights because it's a little more challenging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Palms up. More of a traditional bicep curl. Definitely hits those biceps. A little less challenging so you can really focus on form. 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms out at 90. Rotate through, up, down, up. So we're just rotating those weights down and up. You should really feel this kind of rippling through your muscle as it changes where the work is happening. Down and up, down and up. Nice job. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to finish off with some quick overhead press. Roll your shoulders out. Get ready to press those arms up, 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 up. Let's see, I can, it doesn't really seem to help. Up, up, up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse, pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Weights to the side. Awesome job. Getting ready to come to our bar. Grab your chair or head to a wall or a banister or a bar or whatever you have for support. Our theme today is inner strength. So we're going to be doing a lot with these inner thighs. We're going to start with a chair squat. If you have a ball, a rolled up towel, or other squishy object, you can grab that, put it between your thighs. Walk those feet together. Feel that squeeze happening in those inner thighs. Give it a few squeezes to make sure that you're activated there. And push that booty back and lift. Back and lift. So really working to push that booty back, keeping the knees right over the ankles. Back. Rise up. Back, rise up. Back, up. 4, 3, 2, 1, and we pulse, pulse. Pulse, really watch those knees, make sure they're nicely aligned, trying to get those head and shoulders as tall as you can. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand it up. I should have also said, make sure you have your 2 paper plates or gliders, or if you are on a hard surface, some slidey socks. We're going to do a diagonal jack on our gliders. If you don't have them, or if you are looking more for cardio than for strength, you can of course just do a regular jumping jack. So trying to do a diagonal movement there. If you have your gliders, we're going to go diagonal, in, out, in, out, in. So this in should be tough. Drawing those thighs together. Out, in. The out is also work, but that's drawing from our glutes, which is of course the largest muscle of our body. But the in is really relying on those inner thighs. Nice. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Great job, you guys. Love the hustle. We're going to be back to our bar. Let me bring this here. Elbows against your bar, or maybe for me, probably my hands a couple rungs down, because this bar is kind of tall for me. First position, nice and standing tall. Come down into your plie. Align your body, right? So we've still super tall, coming straight up from that head and shoulders. We're going to lift that leg in front, side to side. Out, in, out, in. So pay attention to the standing knee. Don't let it collapse to the center. You should still be able to see your big toe on the inside. This extended leg is in turn out. So we've got this rotation going in our hip socket. In, out, in, 4, 3, 2, 1, and up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. This should feel nice and tough. Up, down, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand it up, shake it out before we come to the other side. Back into your first position, back into a gentle plie, nice engaged core, lifting up tall, other leg in front, out, in, out, in. So keeping your hips and shoulders square. This leg is opening and closing just by moving in the hip socket. We're not moving that pelvic girdle at all to give it more range of motion. My foot is cramping today. Open and open, open, open. 4, 3, 2, 1, and up, down, up, down. Make sure you're in your turnout. Your turnout is what's going to bring a little work to the inner thigh, although a lot of this is happening in the quad. Up, down, and the hip flexor. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down, shake it out. We're going to go back to facing our bar. Grab your ball if you have it, or whatever you're using. Put that between your thighs. This time we're going to come into first position. So that is nice and squeezed. First position, walking those heels together, smushing those thighs as much as you can, staying smushed, staying aligned. We're going to rise up into a calf raise. Lift, lift. So as you come down, squeeze in, rise up, squeeze in. Feel that inner thigh engagement, lift and down. Squeezing those inner thighs also helps take a little bit of pressure off the calves. So it's actually an important part of any calf raise, in addition to pushing out with the quads. So think about your knees are straight, but think about them pushing out, engaging your quads to push them out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping that ball, we're going to come to parallel in center floor. So we're going to either repeat our warm-up move in releve, which was, we got this ball here, we just walk, 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 walk. Or you can do a side-to-side jump. So jump, jump, jump. So squeezing this ball the whole time, really working to keep those legs together, starting and ending with a bent knee every time. Jump, jump, jump. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And nice job. Staying in center floor, this time with one of our gliders. We're going to come to a lateral lunge. So you got the glider under one foot. The gliding knee is going to bend. Standing leg will stay straight. Gliding out, coming in. Gliding out, coming in. So lots and lots of work on that inner thigh as you drag the glider in between, back to meet that other leg, out and in, out and in, nice, out and in, out and in. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to come back out here. We're going to pulse, 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 pulse. So on this pulse, really try to use this standing leg to lever this other leg in. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly bring it all the way in. Getting ready for the other side. Give yourself plenty of room. This leg is gonna stand, this leg is gonna bend. And in, out, and in, nice job. Out, and in, out, and in, good job. Draw in, glide, draw in, glide, draw in, glide, draw in. 4, 3, 2, last one. Get ready for those pulses. Out, draw in, out, in, out, in, out, in, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 1. Slowly in and shake it out. Last bar move, we're gonna get back to our ball. We're gonna face the bar. Ball between the thighs. Walk those feet in. Lift up those heels, knees go to the front. So we've got a nice straight line from the glute down to the heel. Really good posture here. We're just gonna squeeze, squeeze, squeeze that ball. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the ball. Nice. Nice, strong movements here. If you don't have the ball, that's fine. You'll just have your thighs together and feel those tiny little squeezes as they come together. 4, 3, 2, 1. Right side only. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left side only for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rise it up and shake it out. Setting your chair to the side, but keeping your equipment near you. We're gonna come down on the floor for our core series. So grab your mat. We're gonna start with that resistance band or tube or a long towel or strap that you can wrap around your foot. Just something that will let you hold on to it. We'll be laying on our back. So, starting here, one leg in the air, other leg extended out straight, cross over, back to center, cross over, back to center. So normally we would open out to the side. Today we're working on that inner thigh. So really have that resistance to help you work as you cross that leg over. Cross, 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 cross. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to go full range. Open to the side, cross at the center. Open to the side, cross at the center. When you open to the side, keep those hips square to the ceiling. Try not to rock side to side at those hips. Shoulders square to the ceiling, crossing over, nice big crossover at the top. 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep it crossed, down, up, down, up. So your leg is crossed, but your hips are still square. It takes the work out of the inner thigh if you open up that hip from the floor. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that leg. Switching over to the other side. So original leg extended, starting with just that crossover, crossover, cross, and cross. And if you don't have a resistance band or a towel, you can simply have your leg in the air. It will still work your muscles. The standing leg is still working. You might have your toe pointed or flexed, whatever you need to do to engage that quad enough to keep the leg up and not flopping open. 4, 3, 2, 1. Full range. Open out, cross over. Open and cross. Keeping the hips square on the open and the cross. 4 and cross. 3 and cross. 2 and cross. Last one. Stay crossed, up, down, up, down, up, down. Hips are square for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set that band to the side. Coming up onto all fours for a bear crawl. So we'll start at the back of our mat. Starting on hands and knees, feel the nice alignment of your spine right here and your booty. We're gonna try to keep that alignment and not pop the booty up in the air. When we tuck our toes under and lift up onto our toes, knees are just barely hovering above the mat. Walk, 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 walk back. So you're trying to keep the knees underneath you and you're trying to keep the knees hovered while maintaining the spinal alignment and keeping the booty from popping into the air. Hopefully you are finding that it's a lot harder than it looks, because I certainly am. Walk, 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 walk. 4, 3, 2, 1, and sit back. Roll your wrists. Nice work. A little bit of a plank variation there. Coming onto our side for a traditional inner thigh lift. One leg crossed, top leg crossed on top, hips stacked. Flex the bottom foot. Lift, lift, lift that inner thigh. Lift, 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 lift. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both legs extended. Up with the top leg. Tap, 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 tap. So your core should be working a lot harder here. If you're having a hard time maintaining that hip alignment, you can bring that top hand to the mat. Or if you're like the challenge, you can keep it on the hip. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. Coming first into that traditional inner thigh lift. Top leg crossed over, bottom leg flexed. Lift, 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 lift. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend that top leg. Choose your top hand position. Lift up that top leg. Tap, 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 tap. Hips are stacked, straight up and down. Core is working to maintain that alignment. Tap, tap, tap. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming to a back, grab that ball if you have it. I'm not sure that a different squishy object will work for this, but you really don't need anything for this. The ball just makes it extra hard. We're gonna do some butterfly beats out of hover. So if you've got the ball, it's right here between your ankles, feet are in turnout, butterfly, beat. If you don't have the ball, you just beat one foot on top and then the other. Beat, beat, beat. Belly button is pressed down. That belly can want to try to pop up. That's not what we're going for. Oh, I'm losing my ball. Beat, 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 beat. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feet are flat. Ball is still between the ankles. Now your feet are parallel. You're not in your turnout. Lift and tap. Lift and tap. When you get to the top of that lift, squeeze that ball. Tap it down. Squeeze and tap. Squeezing between the ankles, I find, is a lot harder than squeezing between the thighs because the force has to transfer all the way down your leg. Squeeze and tap. Squeeze and tap. 8, 7, 6, squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put that ball to the side. Sit up into a butterfly stretch for a second. Let those inner thighs take a little break before our next move, which is going to be a bird dog inner thigh with resistance band. All right. Grab your band or tube if you have one. If not, you're totally fine. We'll just do this with body weight. Hook it around one foot. Holding in that same hand, hand down on the mat under your shoulders, leg behind, cross and open, cross and open. So this should feel nice and tough, not only on those inner thighs that we worked so hard, but on that open, on your oblique. Your abs are pushing up from below. They are engaged to keep your spine nice and straight. Cross and open, cross and open. 4, 3, 2, 1. Centered, up, down, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switching sides. Hook it under the other foot. Same hand as leg. Oops, got my pinky toe. Hands down on the mat under your shoulders. Extend that leg. Cross over and out. Over and out. Core is engaged to keep that spinal alignment. We're not turning our spine into an S with this movement. The work is happening in the core and the leg, not in the back. It's about muscles, not changing our spinal alignment. Open, cross, 4, 3, 2, 1. Center that leg, up, down, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming down. Grab your ball one more time. We'll finish out our core series with some glute bridges. One more time. Ball between those thighs. Walk the feet together. Tuck the shoulder blades under, nice open chest. Palms flat to the mat. Lift and down. Push those hips up to the sky. Really feel that inner thigh squeeze as you reach the top. Up, down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay up here and we pulse, 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 pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay lifted. Squeeze, squeeze with those thighs. Squeeze with the thighs. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly roll it down. Let's start our stretch with a happy baby. Grab those inner thighs, calves, ankles, or the insides of your feet. Try to bring your tailbone down to the mat. So reduce the curvature of the spine. So you got your stretch going in those hips and those inner thighs. You can rock side to side if that feels comfortable. Rocking. And we're going to do essentially the same pose, face down on the mat. So we're coming into frog pose. With child's pose, we've got our big toes together, knees apart. With frog pose, we've got our knees apart and our toes are facing out. The lower half of the leg is parallel. Inhale here, push back. Feel that stretch. You can bring your forehead to the mat or you can use your arms as a pillow. But really try to breathe into and let go into this stretch. Three more breaths. Come back to centered. We're going to come into a standing V. So palms flat on the floor. Step those feet out wide into a V. Big toes are pointing in toward one another. Palms stay on the mat. Bring your head close to the floor if you can. Or if you're really flexible, you can bring it all the way to the floor. And we're going to walk over to our right foot, bend that right knee. Hand inside, our arm is inside the knee, so you can use it to keep that knee nice and open. Feel a big stretch on the opposite leg. Straighten your right leg, walk back to center, and now walk to the left. Bend that left knee. Nice stretch here. Hopefully this feels really good. Straighten that leg, walk all the way back to center one more time. See if you feel a little more limber after giving each side a nice little stretch. Slowly roll up, one vertebra at a time, head last. Open or bring those feet together a little into your wide second position. Feel that alignment lifting up from the tailbone all the way to the top of the head. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, plie. Inhale up. Exhale, plie. One more time, up. And exhale. And gentlemen, take your bow. Ladies, take your curtsy. Thank you so much for joining Barre class today. I hope you have a great afternoon, and hopefully I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tina.
Thanks.